In today's video, we'll be taking on the ultimate in-game crisis as the Empire.
Summon the Elector Counts!
With the goal of surviving and acquiring a victory, we will be using mods such as Guns of the Empire and Victory Conditions Overhaul, which I'll get into soon, but first we have to re-educate our neighbors. I reunite the Reichland quickly and recruit a new lord in preparations for large armies that will spill over the mountains to my west, and look to the north for some opportunities to commit violence.
My pleasure.
I attack the Black Pit orgs north of the I attack the Black Pit orgs north of Altdorf. As my troops practice guarding, I will go over Guns of the Empire. Our basic line infantry are the Ursach soldiers. Armed with bayonet rifles, they are weaker than handgunners and spearmen, but can fulfill both roles to some degree, making them a very flexible all-around unit. These will make up the bulk of our army for now, and also have a very useful ability of putting stakes in the ground. As they gather experience, I will have the option of upgrading them into higher tier units. So after defeating the orcs, I head to challenge the beastmen.
Are you sure about that?
Swarmed from all sides by the best of what the beastmen can offer, I quickly spread my troops out, forming fire alliance behind my front line. Matching their savagery with discipline, the fighting is brutal. Minotaurs tear through my lines and smoke pollutes the air. Eventually I get enough guns firing to converge on the Minotaurs and wipe them out. The battle begins to swing in our favor, and Kazrak leaves himself open and is quickly executed. With this victory, I steamroll the rest of the orcs and beastmen, granting me a large amount of experience. Put points into the red tree on Karl Franz. This will greatly benefit my new mainline unit, the Hochbuschützen? With our new units, I decide to knock out some quest battles, introducing Napoleonic warfare to the Norskins, and letting the dwarves suffer at the Battle of Blackfire Pass. Eventually bringing the fight to Festus, in hopes of wiping him out before the end times come. After our victory, we confederate Midland, and just in time. On turn 23, the end times have arrived. Festus will have to wait, as these massive armies will be converging on me soon, so I start moving Karl back to the Reichland. I need to protect Altdorf at all costs, as it will allow me to produce much needed artillery. Hopefully Marienburg can hold the... never mind, they got wiped out. I need as much manpower as possible now to cover all avenues that they can approach me from. Except for the fact that most of these fuckers can just go under mountains. Regaining my composure, I start to play a game of cat and mouse with my enemies, sacrificing settlements and defending the ones important to me. I begin recruitment of some new spicy units, and you may have noticed that I'm making negative funds per turn, as I need to have enough armies to match my enemies. How do I do this? Well, I embrace war as a business. I need at least 1 or 2 victories per turn to keep my economy afloat. The next couple of turns are a slog of battles after battle, with news now that the Skaven have arrived and now on their way. I can't imagine it getting any worse.
Oh, come on.
Now I have dwarfs, orgs, tomb kings, skaven, wood elves, chaos dwarfs, and the undead beating at the doors of my forts. I need to break the main army here and go on the offensive. As the clock is ticking, I cannot win a battle of attrition against this many enemies. After the undead defeat, the elves tried their hand, but much to my surprise, they were more interested in dancing. With the defeat of these armies, Heimgard has a brief respite before marching out and raising a nearby undead town. I don't want to push out just yet, as I am still vastly outnumbered. And now with Gelt himself offering to confederate, I gain another army and a great choke point to stop the oncoming orcs, tomb kings, and skaven. With all the combat that my armies have seen, I can acquire some elite infantry. These Ironsides are a great range unit which are stronger than their predecessors. Now that I'm a bit further into the campaign, let's talk about the Victory Conditions Overhaul mod. This mod aims to add a more enjoyable experience over the base game. Its conditions are a bit more spicy and lore friendly. For the Empire, I have 3 new conditions. Accomplishing them will grant me benefits and eventually allow me to partake in the final quest battle against Archaon and his forces. With my armies now mostly elite and supported by artillery, I take to the offensive, taking the northern fort and in turn defending against a massive 7,000 undead army. Abandoning the walls and creating overlapping firing lines in the center of the fort with stakes on the main paths. This will protect me as I snipe their enemy lords. With no lords to lead the undead, we can break them with our final bayonet charge. With their defeat, we can march on their capital. Finally, at the gates of the undead capital, we quickly destroy their towers and begin mantling the walls. With new infantry and artillery, we cut through the undead ranks with lead and fire. My most elite infantry, Eisenbombers, rain grenades from the walls along with these loyal dwarf minigunners. The enemy sallies out, but flaming artillery and musket lines await their charge. It's not long before the enemy army crumbles and we attain our victory. Closing in on turn 50, I've accomplished defeating the undead and the dwarves, only for them to be replaced by the orgs and rats. The Skaven to my south destroyed what's left of the wood elves that are now coming for me. My armies of elite high tier units can auto-resolve a good chunk of battles, but I still do not have enough to protect my empire as it grows larger each day. Taking Marienburg's independence, I now eye uniting the entire Reichland and try to eliminate threats entirely on my southern border. This takes some time, but eventually I take control of the Bretonnian lands. Eventually working my way into now Skaven Vietnam, claiming them and soon the mountains that once separated us. I just have to mention this, but while I was fighting for my life down here and stopping humanity from being overrun, Lewin has been on a crusade since day one against Bellicor, and he has not left this island at all. I think he's been here all game actually. With the southern territories now somewhat under control, I send Karl back north to start taking land from Clan Mulder, another Skaven clan. As of right now, Skaven pose the greatest threat to me, and in straight up battle I can win it easily, but what they excel at is ambushing. Several times now I've been ambushed and Oppenheimered back to the Stone Age. Going forward, I will be using the encamp stance, which increases my chances of detecting an ambush. As you get closer to turn 100, my income has greatly increased, allowing me to field 9 armies. I'm using all the manpower I have to expand and conquer the world, working on Tilia and even taking back the lands of Kislev. Kislev? I meant to say Kislev. Even waging war against Vlad and his armies. Yet, somehow, the orgs find a way to surprise me. My line holds back a massive org army. Just in time, my reinforcements arrive overhead. I have built a large fleet of airships, steam copters, and Pegasus pistoliers, coming together in one of the most epic battles I've ever witnessed in a total war game. With the defeat of the orgs, the rest of the Whistleland and Everland regions fall quickly. I'm just kidding, it wasn't that bad. I wrapped up the orgs here and took the rest of the Nordland settlements. Well, after I had to make Bretonnia go somewhere else because they were trying to ruin this for me. Giving me my first victory condition met. Now for a second one, I just need to eliminate the changeling. I begin construction of Skaven buildings in each region. I'll quickly find the remnants of the Zeech Menace and defeat him. My final objective takes me to a northern waste, where I have to eliminate Archaon's faction. I also come to find out that the dwarves have almost completely taken the donut from the pointy ears, so I kind of find that funny. After 150 turns, we now stand against Chaos. Archaon and his legions march to end the old world. In defiance, I have gathered the dwarves, humans, and elves for one final stand.
Once more, we will ally with the manlings, just as Grimnir did 10 score centuries ago. We will repulse these vile creatures with our dying breath and renew the oldest and greatest alliance this world has ever seen.
Only a fool underestimates his adversary. I will see to it.
We mark another grudge.
It would be unwise to waste.
Ready access!
I will brook no meagerness. Our common cause shall benefit the world.
Agreed. Refusing union weakens us all. As Sigmar fought, so shall we. We have marched many miles, but there is no distance so great that I would not gladly march it to face this, our ultimate foe. For Sigmar, for the Empire, for the Warhammer!
Using my allies as a front line, I let loose fire and steel, bringing the entire might of the Empire upon our enemies. Scarbrand, Akari, Kairos, and even Kugat Fasara lines. I sniped them with Karl and my line infantry. The battlefield becomes a melting pot of friendly fire and spells as the epic battle would. On this day, the courage of mortals are tested as they fight against demons, monsters, and fear itself. By the time Archaon appears, his armies have been scattered and he's easily picked apart by the remaining Order factions. Eventually we have victory, and with it, the survival of the old world. Thanks for watching. It took me 150 turns to end the Chaos threat once and for all, but it was a very fun campaign. I want to shout out the mod, Victory Conditions Overhaul. I swear by it and hope you guys give it a try if you haven't. It really breathes some fresh air into the game. Right now I'm going to be consistently uploading more, and I'll be saving up for a new setup and microphone. So thank you all for your support, and I hope you enjoyed the video.